and welcome to Frightfully Forgotten, and this is an introduction to our brews.
Yeah.
We are avid home brewers, as we have said in previous episodes, and we're going to be posting some, well, not just some, a lot of recipes.
Yeah, we've gotten a bit of interest in what we've been drinking, so...
And they're inspired and named after horror movies, or they're horror movie brews.
We're just going to go into kind of our method and our madness, I guess, on how we kind of...
method and madness.
On how we kind of brew.
We both do what we call a brew in the bag method. It's an all grain method. There's no
liquid malt.
No liquid malt. It's all grain. It's all put in a big giant, basically, tea bag.
Yeah, basically.
We both use 20 liters of mash water at about 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So by the time you put the grains in, it's dropped temperature to about 65-ish degrees, you know. That's about mash temperature for about an hour-ish, maybe longer. It depends, you know, whatever. It depends what you're doing that day. If you're watching a movie and you're like, you let it sit, no, it's fine for another half hour.
That's exactly what I do.
But before you do the sparge, you have to take the grains out.
Yeah, and this is where our method...
This is where it gets fun. This is where our methods differ.
I do it differently, yeah, because when I used to do the partial grain mashes, I used to get like those muslin grain bags or whatever they're called. And so I just collected a bunch of them, and it's just easier for me to lift out small ones, and then I put them onto a little bit of a strainer and then squeeze and sparge and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I use one giant bag. I have to take this big fucking bag out and hold it and let it strain all the liquid out. Ah, my fucking arms!
It's like David Carradine holding that cauldron. You got a pile of mound of snow.
There's been some debate as to what you do next, and some people don't do it. We both do what's called the squeeze method.
Yeah, that's extremely debatable. Yeah. We've never had a bad batch squeezing.
No.
We squeeze the sack.
Yeah.
We squeeze
that sack. We're gonna find these amigos, cut their stomachs open, grab their intestines, and squeeze the shit out of them!
Squeeze, because you're squeezing all the wort and all the flavorful liquid out of the grains.
And all the fermentable sugars.
Exactly.
Out of the grain. So we squeeze all the grain, all the liquid out of the grain that's been mashing now for about an hour or more.
Yep.
Back into the mash water. Then you sparge. So you take I do about 10 liters. You do about...
Yeah, I do. It depends. For me, it depends on how much grain I use.
Yeah.
I usually use about 13 liters of sparge water.
You rinse all that shit, and that's your wort.
Yep.
Basically, you put that into your pot, and you bring it up to a boil.
Yep.
Advice for home brewers is avoiding boil over.
Yeah, and you can buy things of anti-foam agent.
The firm cap.
I do the exact same thing. It's like, with the cap.
Is it gonna boil over, yeah. Because the boil over is the worst, and fuck, is it a bitch to clean up? You have to get to know your stove.
Yeah,
that's a big thing, is get to know your stove.
Once it starts to come to a boil, put your hops in. Do your hop schedule.
I've had a few friends come over during brews, and they always say, "That's it.
It's easy.
That's it."
There's
and then you get this.
Yeah, exactly. And this is your what is it?
This is my Red X Cascade Smash.
So that's all it has to be. And we don't really go overboard.
It's not rocket science. People have been doing it since the fucking Middle Ages.
Yeah, 5,000 years or whatever. So
it's easy. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to experiment, to change recipes a little bit.
We look forward to hearing some of your stories.
Some of your brew stories.
Some of your brew stories. Some of your disaster stories. Because we've had more than a few.
I want to hear your Clouseau brews. Happy brewing.
Happy brewing.